back to this Real America's Voice news break. I'm Terrence Bates. Former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton is in the FBI's crosshairs. This morning started with FBI agents raiding a suburban Washington, D.C. home, reportedly at the direction of FBI Director Kash Patel. President Trump says he found out about the raid just like the rest of us.
I know nothing about it. I just saw it this morning. They did a raid.
Do you expect the DOJ to brief you on this?
Yeah, they'll brief me, probably today sometime.
And the Foreign Minister...
I tell Pam and I tell the group, I don't want to know about it. Just, you have to do what you have to do. I don't want to know about it. It's not necessary. I could know about it. I could be the one starting it. I'm actually the chief law enforcement officer, but I feel that it's better this way.
Agents are reportedly looking for classified documents as part of what's being described as a national security investigation. Sources say the investigation centers around allegations that Bolton used classified documents and leaks to the news media on multiple occasions. We're told the documents in question may not necessarily be hard copy information, rather electronic, meaning if they exist, they would be on Bolton's computers, phones, and other devices. If that's the case, the FBI could confiscate those devices and potentially find other incriminating or questionable information. Bolton has been an ardent critic of President Trump as well as FBI Director Kash Patel, which already has some people surmising that the raid is politically motivated. The FBI already pushing back against that narrative, though, saying that it's conducting, quote, a court-authorized activity. President Trump takes Attorney General Pam Bondi, White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, and other cabinet members on a field trip across Washington, D.C. The group visited the U.S. Park Police headquarters in Southeast D.C. on Thursday, declaring that the president's crime crackdown in the nation's capital is working. The commander-in-chief also announcing his plan to continue D.C.'s facelift from crime to parks.
We're going to be rebuilding all of your parks, and it's going to happen fast. It's going to go up like a miracle. So you do the job on safety, and I'll get this place fixed up physically, and we're going to be so proud of it at the end of 6 months. But let's say at the end of a year, this place will be maxed out in terms of beauty. You'll have all new surfaces. You'll have all new medians. Everything's going to look beautiful.
Working radio show in the business, The Charlie Kirk Show.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. Email us, as always, freedom@charliekirk.com. That is freedom@charliekirk.com. In just a moment here, we have the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams. I want to tell you guys about some of the viral TikTok videos that we have. I want to play one of them here. They have a whole new cut sheet of some really viral stuff that we are able to go through. But first, I want to tell you guys about TikTokeconomicimpact.com. That is TikTokeconomicimpact.com. This one's going very viral. Let's play cut 521.
What do you say to those that are against homeschooling?
Well, they can apply for a job from you in 10 years from now. So.
That's awesome.
You're going to be more polite, smarter, wiser, happier, more direction, more purpose, less corrupted, more understanding, more battle ready, better prepared, less confused, more biblical, more grounded, more Christ-like. If you are homeschool your kids if you can, homeschool your kids. If they're scorning you or they're saying bad things to you, blessed are you who are persecuted in my name, it says James 1:5. So I'm a big fan of homeschooling. By the way, it used to be, the homeschool kids were quote unquote weird. No. The homeschool kids are wise. The homeschool kids, they're going to be the ones that are going to be running society. My money's on the homeschool kids more so than anybody else. God bless you. Stay strong. Thank you. That video and others, TikTokeconomicimpact.com. That is TikTokeconomicimpact.com. Okay, everybody, joining us now is the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams. Mr. Mayor, thank you for taking the time. I know that you've had a very eventful morning. It is your first time on this program. Mr. Mayor, I want to give you an opportunity to further introduce yourself to our audience and our national platform here of the state of the race in New York City and the stakes, which are quite high and have captured the imagination and the attention of our great nation. Mr. Mayor, please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. And I believe it or not, I believe that clip you just played sort of summarizes what we are seeing. I've been talking about this for several months now, really almost a year now, about what's happening with our children, particularly the radicalizing of our young people. There's a role that's what we're teaching them and what social media is doing with them as well. And that's what we're looking at in this city. I've been the mayor for 3.5 years, and I inherited a city where we had COVID, over 237,000 migrants and asylum seekers. Crime was high, job performances were low, unemployment was high, and there was really a lack of hope of the future. And within 3.5 years, we've turned around the city, the strongest economy in the history of our city. And you look at the last 6-7 months, lowest number of shootings and homicides and people shot in recorded history of the city. More jobs in the city's history. Low-income New Yorkers are seeing the benefit from our policies. We put $30 billion back in the pockets of working-class people. That's everything from low-income New Yorkers pay no income tax in the city because of my policies. Reduced the cost of childcare. We've made our city safer, and we're moving in the right direction. And so now we have a young man who may have identified good ideas, but he doesn't have the experience to do what he's saying, and he can't do what he's saying as the role of the mayor. And when you think about it, Charlie, I was a paper boy, a mechanic, a dishwasher. I worked in as a clerk, police officer, all of those jobs. He was a rapper, an assemblyman, and now he wants to be the mayor. And that's what we're up against, and we can't allow that to happen. We've come too far.
So there's a lot of truth to that, Mr. Mayor. And look, I will say, since COVID, New York certainly has more energy and more spark back. I don't think it's back yet to where it should be, and I still think crime, we need to keep on locking it down and cracking it down. But let's narrow on Mamdani, and let's just look at not just the polling, but the betting markets. I mean, the betting markets, Poly Market, they have a whole prediction index, and they're saying Mamdani has an 80 to 90% chance of victory. And part of it is because of the split field. You got Sliwa, who should drop out. He's at 17%, or whatever, and Cuomo's in there. Is there any hope of a consolidation of a field? Because our concern and our audience, Mr. Mayor, and we're very non-ideological on this, which is we cannot allow Zohran Mamdani to become mayor of New York City, period, hard stop. You and I both agree on that, and I'm here to help any way I can. It's a very pragmatic approach. And you, as a former cop, I know you agree you do not want to see the New York City police force curtailed back. So is there anyone that is going to drop out? Is there a consolidation strategy? Is there a behind-the-scenes meeting? Because right now it seems the dividing is actually benefiting this radical Zohran Mamdani.
That's a great question that you're asking. So let's do an analysis of it. When you look at this distance from the primary that took place in June, Mamdani was at 1%. Andrew Cuomo was up in the high 20%. And those same markets had Andrew Cuomo winning the race in about 80-something%, because at one time he was up 36% in the poll. And if you go back to 2021, when I ran for mayor, I was down 14% to Andrew Yang. And this is a very unique race. I think it's going to be one of the highest turnouts in our city's history because of the passion. And then when you look at the primary, only 9 to 10% of the voters voted. 2.5 million Democrats have yet to voice their concern. 1 million independents because of the way our system here in the city, and several 100,000 Republicans. And so the train has left the station on consolidating a ticket. Andrew had 2 weeks after the primary to get off the ballot. Now, no matter what happens, you're going to have 5 names on the ballot. That's not going to change. There will be 5 names on the ballots. And so the real call is to get the 15% of people who have not registered but eligible to vote registered and get the numbers out to the polls for people to vote.
Right. So I guess what you're saying is that we're going to have this divided field. And so the way I look at it is Mamdani is just going to have to try to get upper 30s, low 40s and run a very radical race. I just help me understand, though, if Cuomo's not going to budge and you're going to remain in and Slowa's going to get 15 to 70% just as a novelty candidate, then this is why the odds are showing in that direction. Let's just kind of ask this question differently. At least will there be an all-out offensive campaign exposing Mamdani and what he wants to do and his radical ideas to send social workers instead of police officers? He wants to arrest Bibi Netanyahu if he comes to New York City. He wants to sanction the state of Israel, just as like stuff off the top of his head. Not to mention, he wants to have government-run grocery stores. And so I suppose, will there ever be a moment where a deal could be brokered, or is just everyone going to stay in the race and we might end up with a radical winning a plurality?
Right, and it's so important what you're saying because the concerns are in layers. Number one, I think there's a unified call by pragmatic, intelligent people in this city that we don't want Mamdani to be the mayor of the city of New York. His extremist policies, not believing in family, what I believe in, his belief of having prostitutes on our streets. He believed to, legalize prostitution, which is horrific when you think about it, and so many other areas.
I totally
can go
agree.
policy by policy on these areas, and then when you go to the next level.
Please do though. I think you should though. Yeah, but go to the next level. I do want to make sure because I think we got to be more. I think we got to be more aggressive against this guy. But go to the next level. I interrupted you. Sorry, sir.
Yeah, no, it's okay. The next level is Andrew. The city I had to fix was what Andrew created as governor. He succumbed to the far left to do our bail reform laws. A police officer was just shot today involving a person who just got arrested yesterday. And it's because of those laws that Andrew put in place that allowed this repeated violent offenders to come on our street. He passed the cannabis law where illegal cannabis shops were all over our city until I closed down 1,500 of them. You look at the number of our elders who died in nursing homes, 15,000. It was his policies. It was his policy that closed the psychiatric beds, that we had people on the street. I had to remove 3,500 people who were living on our streets to give them permanent housing. And so when you look at the next level, we cannot have our city turn into what Andrew did to our state. And that is why we must be smart about this. Yes, the top number one call is to not have Mamdani win, but we cannot go backwards in this city while we're doing so.
Look, I agree, and so I want you to interject more on just kind of explain more on your vision versus what Mamdani will do. And look, I don't think New York is where it should be yet. You did inherit a mess during COVID. The stats are going down, but what would Mamdani look like? What paint a picture for the audience of what would happen specifically. There was a big story about how New York Police Department will flee the city, and who is really his type of voter that he is going after, and what is your message to a Mamdani voter? What is your message to someone that thinks Mamdani is going to make New York free and wonderful and all these different promises? So kind of bring us more into it. And again, you are the mayor of New York City. I know that you're probably exhausted hearing about Mamdani all the time, but it's the hand that you were dealt. He's the favorite. He's polling well. He is probably going to be mayor unless something dramatically changes. So please prosecute the case more against Mamdani and the reality that he would bring to America's largest city.
Yes, and I'm not exhausted of hearing his name. This is the business that we're in. When you win a primary in a 5-1 Democratic city, there's a belief that it's an automatic win. I don't believe that. But let's peel back his policies. And it's not only Mamdani. That's also important. And to your listeners, it is the DSA. That is who represents him, and that's who
the Democrat
he stands
Socialists
for.
of America.
Exactly. That organization, if we get it wrong here in New York, you're going to see major cities across our country fall like dominoes. And if you want to know what a Mamdani, New York looks like, look at some of the other cities where encampments are everywhere, a high level of crime that's taking place, failed socialist policies. And so the idea of making cities affordable, we got that. And that is what he has sold to people, that everything would be free, basically, and the issue around affordability. And I understand that. And so the concept, we understand that clearly, affordability. And that's why we put $30 billion back into the pockets of working class people. So when you say the difference between the two of us, I remember as a child, my mother being given broken promises, and just to find out that is those who promised them did not deliver. He's smart enough. He has been highly educated from very wealthy families. He's smart enough to know what he's promising he can't do, such as free buses. In order to do free buses, it's going to cost about $3 billion. He stated that he's going to get the $3 billion by raising the taxes on the top 1% income earners in our city. Mayors don't raise property taxes. The assemblyman will raise the property tax. He's the assemblyman.
He's just lying. We have to take a break, Mr. Mayor. And this is the problem: is that he's just going to keep on doing this. He's going to keep on promising stuff and keep on lying. So I have some suggestions, Mr. Mayor. We are united in the front that we must defeat Zohran Mamdani. We'll be back in a couple minutes.